Welcome to Summer Shape Up, a 3-day clean eating challenge with powerhouse breakfast smoothies. So I am excited to tune in live with each and every one of you. I hope you all are excited. Many people have signed up. So I am just ready to get things going. And so just give me one moment because we are early into this. So let me get my window set up. So, those of you who are tuning in live with me, I appreciate you taking time out of your schedule. And I love engagement. So, definitely chime in, tune in, let me know your name so we can really engage and get going because I like for this to serve as a two-way means of communication. And so, congratulations to each and every one of you for signing up and showing up live. And so, set this as a goal for yourself to commit to showing up live on all 3 days. So I have good stuff for you every single day. I like to share comments and feedback from each person as I get them in so we all can learn from one another. And then, like I said, we're going to have a lot of good content for you. So as you're tuning in, say hello to me and just share with me how you're feeling today. And so for those who don't know me, my name is Sandra Goldtree. I am a registered dietitian, and I'm also a certified personal trainer for adult men and women. And I am excited to spend these next 3 days with you. I am doing this challenge with you. So you're not alone. So I'm not just dishing it out. I'm prepping and planning and cooking and shopping just like you are. So are you all excited? If you are excited to kick things off officially, then just simply type excited in the chat box. Again, I love engagement. And so I'm just going to chime in throughout the day. Well, hey, Raina, I am excited. Yay. Awesome. And so as a teaser, you're going to want to stay on to the end because there's also more things I want you to hear about, a very special opportunity for those who may decide that they want to take a deeper dive with me. And you can really gain more insight on ending that yo-yo vicious dieting cycle that we go through, really building a healthier relationship with food. I think that's all of us. And getting back to your old self. You know, a lot of people just feel like they just don't feel the way they used to feel. They don't do as much as they used to do. They don't go out as much as they used to go out. So those are some of the things that we'll talk about a little bit later. So a little bit about me, I want to share a little bit about my weight loss journey and my story for those who do not know me. So you kind of understand why I have such a passion for what I do and why I love to share the news that food is power. Food is medicine for our body when it is done correctly. Okay. And my story centers around my blood pressure as well as weight loss. And so around my early 30s, early to maybe mid 30s, I was tagged with losing about 20 to 25 pounds. My blood pressure was elevating. And I was like, okay, what am I supposed to do about that? I just was handed this sheet of paper that said, hey, avoid these high sodium rich foods, lose 20, 25 pounds, see me in 3 months, and we will decide at that time if we're going to put you on meds. And so I was in complete denial because I'm like, I don't need to lose weight. How am I going to lose 20 pounds? But when I look back and I was really honest with myself, I actually was at my highest weight and I had gained about 15 pounds in about a year's time. And it just went unnoticed. It was a very slow, a very gradual weight gain. And it started reflecting itself really in my blood pressure. And so I did what we all do. I did my own research. Back then it was the World Wide Web. So I tried to figure out how to lower my blood pressure, how to lose the weight. And I was trying to figure it out for about 3 years. I was trying to figure it out. I made a lot of changes. I was able to stop the gain, but I wasn't able to lose. And so I think many of us can relate to that plateau where you just get to a point where you just stop losing. But during the course of these 3 years, my doctor was constantly warning me, you're taxing your kidneys, you're at risk for diabetes, you are overworking your heart because my blood pressure would get pretty high, like in the 150s, over hundreds. I mean, it would get pretty high. And it was scary. It was scary. And then one day I visited a dialysis center. And so for those who don't know what a dialysis center is, it's when you are hooked up to a machine for about 3-4 hours for 3 to 4 days of the week because your kidneys no longer work. And when I spoke to the dialysis nurse, they were sharing that many of the people here were there because of uncontrolled diabetes, uncontrolled hypertension. And I was looking at this in my mid 30s and I'm like, wow, I'm being stubborn. I did not want to get on meds. I wanted to break the family cycle. I do have a family history of high blood pressure. And I was like, no, I don't want that. I don't want that. I was trying to fix it on my own. I was trying to fix it through lifestyle changes. And I made the changes. I made the changes. So I said, you know what, enough is enough. Let me stop playing around and let me get help. And so I hired a dietitian, and that's my first interaction with a dietitian. And so I was on the right track with eating. I didn't do extreme measures as far as cutting out food groups or restricting calories, but I did incorporate a lot more whole foods, and I cut out a lot of processed high sodium foods that I was eating that I really wasn't aware of. And so she was able to, but yet I wasn't losing weight. So she was able to help me cut back enough to where I was finally able to lose. I lost about 22 pounds in 3 months, and it had taken me 3 years on my own to try to do it. So, moral of the story is, if you hadn't done it, if you haven't reached your goal in about 6 months, then you probably want to get some help. So you're not wasting time, and even worse, just adding more stress and strain on your body than you need to. And so that is what prompted me to go back to school, change careers, get the credentials to go along with the experience, because I don't want people to go through what I went through. There's no need to deprive yourself to the point where you're not happy in order to reach your goals. And so I did end up getting the diagnosis though. So all that I did, I made the changes, lost the weight, but for me it was hereditary. And I was mad, I was upset, I was disappointed. I was like, what's the point of it all? It didn't work for me, so it doesn't work. But God really spoke to me. He spoke to my heart. He was like, no, this was life changing for you. I have a plan for you. And you can, if you had not done this, then life would have been a lot different, it would have been a lot worse. So I am a firm believer that food is medicine, and that I'm on a low dose medicine, and I was able to maintain the weight loss. It's been about what, 2000, year 2000, 2002. So it's been almost 20 years. Can't even believe that it's been that long, but it does work for you. And I don't cut back. I have my moments just like everybody else. I have to be intentional. I slip just like everybody else. I have to get back on just like everybody else. So just know that it doesn't have to be a painful process. It does not have to be a painful process. So I hope that that is inspiring. And if you have any questions about my story, hello, Charmin. Thank you for checking in. Orlando in the house. So if you have any questions about my story, feel free. I am an open book because I want you all to know that I am just as human as you all, and I have the same challenges just like you all. Okay? All righty. So let's talk about the agenda for today. Okay. So our topic for today is your morning energy blaster. One thing that you can do to boost your energy and your metabolism, which will ultimately jumpstart your weight loss. And then we're going to go into some comments and questions about day one. I would love to know how your shopping went. So definitely chime in while we're listening to the training. How did your shopping go? How did your prepping go? Did the prep guide help you? How was breakfast this morning? Did you enjoy your creamy apple pie smoothie? Did it last you? So those are some things that I want to hear from you, and others want to hear from you as well, because people who are not able to tune in live will listen to the replay, and we will all help each other in this process. So definitely tune in, chime in and just share your shopping experience, meal prepping experience. If you relied on the prep guide, was it helpful? And how was your smoothie this morning? Powerhouse smoothie. That's the key, powerhouse. Okay. So I definitely want to hear about all that. And then we're going to also talk about the guidebook. So I'll talk about the remaining meals for the rest of the day, as well as leading up until tomorrow morning. So you kind of get some insight. And if you have any questions, definitely post and feel free to reach out to me. All right. All righty. And we're going to talk about, some tips on building healthy habits. And we're going to talk about, again, the remaining meals for the day. All right. So I got a lot to talk about. So I want to ask you, do you find yourself feeling sluggish when you wake up in the morning, no matter how much sleep you get? So if you find yourself feeling sluggish, type sluggish in the chat. Or maybe you find yourself grazing or snacking on food during the day. So if you're a grazer, type that. So if you like to snack versus eat, like real meals and bigger meals, type grazer. Or maybe around that mid-afternoon, you're running out of steam, you need a nap. Okay. So if you're that person that needs a nap around 2-3 o'clock, type nap. And then if not a nap, you tend to crave. That's when the sweet tooth kicks in, or you want something crunchy, or you want something salty. So type cravings if that's you. Okay. And then by the time you get off work, so here's one more if I didn't catch you yet. By the time you get off work, are you feeling exhausted? Like you are so tired, you don't want to do anything. Okay. So if that's the case, type exhausted, or you're starving, or both. Okay. By the end of the day. So where do you all fall? So I'm going to look for comments because it takes a little delay. I hear grazer, we have sluggish, we have craving. So we got a little bit of it all. Hope I see some more coming in here. Mid afternoon, running out of steam and craving sweet. So thank you for that, Lakeisha. We got Krista on. So thank you all for tuning in. We're going to talk about all that. And so in day one of this challenge, we're going to reveal the one thing that you can do to boost your metabolism. To really, and when I say boost your metabolism, in this case, it's really to get gas in your tank. When we wake up, we're on E. We may not realize that our tank is on E, but we really are. And so this is a way to get things going without false energy from like sugar and caffeine. So we want real energy. And so my question for you is, during your work week, how many days do you eat breakfast? So we have 0, 1 to 2, 3 to 4, 5. So that's pretty much every day during the work week. How many days are you eating breakfast? Now this excludes coffee. Okay. So you can have coffee with a meal, but we're talking about meals. Okay. Not just coffee with fruit. Okay. Sorry about that. If I stepped on some toes there. So let's see here. Okay. We got 5 days. We got exhausted by the end of the day. Okay. So good. We got a little bit of we got a little bit of it all. So keep it coming in because there's a little delay. So keep them coming in and I will look at your comments. So the question is skipping breakfast really bad for you? Okay, so this is a very hot question because we have many people who intermittent fast. They don't eat their first meal until 1, 2 o'clock for various reasons. So we got Raina says 3 days she eats breakfast. Charmin says 5 days. Good. We got some breakfasters. Yay. So is it really bad? So breakfast is one of the many cultural changes really that's happened over the decades that really has hurt our health, okay? And we all live these crazier lives, right? We run out the door, we're rushing, we don't eat breakfast, we eat fast food in the car, and then the next thing you know, we gain 20 pounds and we don't know where it came from. And so, but is skipping breakfast the cause of that though? Or is it everything combined that may be causing it? So what do you think about that? And just eating breakfast may not solve the problem, but it is a good place to start because studies continue to show that a lot of times when people skip breakfast, it will catch up with you later on in the day at some point, and you really end up eating more had you just had breakfast because we've allowed ourselves to get too hungry. And so one of the goals of having breakfast is to provide energy at the start of your day without depending on false energy, like I had mentioned, like the caffeine, the sugar. That's great to have from time to time, but we don't want to rely on that. Okay. That's not what's really giving us the energy that we need. It's the nutrients, it's the vitamins, it's the minerals, it's the fiber, it's all the stuff that comes with food that is whole food that's giving us that energy. And so is it true that that skipping breakfast may cause people to feel hungrier during the morning hours and eat more at lunch? What do you think about that? How it does depend though on what you eat for lunch. If it has calories consumed to overcompensate for breakfast, that may have been skipped. So it just depends. But if your metabolism is awake, then yes, you're going to start to feel munchy before lunch, as you should, because our bodies are designed to constantly refuel. And so I see some comments here. Okay, so we got some people who are still chiming in about how many times a day that they eat, or how many days that they eat, mornings they eat breakfast, which is great. I'm seeing a lot of high numbers. So that's really good. I usually see a lot of zeros. So I don't see a lot of zeros this time. So that's good. And so again, let me ask you this. All righty. So do you find yourself snacking more leading up to lunch on the days when you don't eat breakfast? So think about it. So especially those who eat on a regular basis, eating breakfast, we have a moment, we have one of our days where you weren't able to get it in, do you find yourself snacking more later on in the day? So kind of chime in there, snack more if you feel that you have seen that trend with yourself. And I will, let's see here. Oh yes, keto says a lot of things, but we don't diet over here. But it does say you should skip, but you should not. I've had many people who've done keto, lost weight, but then they gain it back because it's very difficult to sustain. And in long term, it's not healthy. It's definitely not healthy. And so I think so. Yep, metabolism. It will slow your metabolism down over a period of time. You will plateau and it can cause other problems too. Cholesterol, anxiety. I've seen a lot of horror stories come out of keto. So you definitely don't want to put yourself in that position. All righty. So let's talk about little known facts for breakfast eaters. Okay. So I'm looking for my banner, but that's okay. Let's see here. So, little known facts about breakfast eaters. So, just a few nuggets, just in case you followed a diet that supports skipping breakfast, which leads into the person who mentioned about keto. So, many studies show that breakfast eaters tend to be healthier overall. For example, they're less likely to be overweight, obese, and they have a lower risk of several chronic diseases. So these are just some little nuggets for you. People who skip breakfast is associated with a higher BMI. So when we see BMI, we are not, it's strictly a marker for health risk, okay? No more, no less. So we know it's a lot of things that don't take into consideration when you're just dealing with BMI, which is your body mass index, but it is an accurate marker for health risk. And then breakfast eaters have a greater reduction of impulse snacking, i.e. cravings, okay? And they tend to eat less at later meals. And then people who are at a healthy weight for their height and they maintain and people who maintain their weight loss tend to have breakfast regularly, and they generally consume breakfast consisting, this is the key, what your breakfast looks like: high in fiber, which includes some carbs, moderate amounts of protein, and heart healthy fats. So you want to have your mix of what we call macros in order for it to really, really work for you. And so what I have noticed in this whole thing with breakfast is that when I work with clients that tend to skip breakfast or just have a cup of coffee and maybe a piece of fruit, they consistently report grazing and snacking in the morning hours, or maybe they make it till later in the afternoon, but at some point they end up snacking more. And this generally leads to not eating balance and not feeling full from snacking, because you're constantly snacking, constantly grazing, and you're just eating any and everything. And then it comes to a head around 3, 4 o'clock. And that's when I said the cravings really kick in really good around that time. And then if you're in the office, that's when the donuts and the cookies and things come in the break room, and you're going to fall for temptation, or you're going to be craving things like greasy, a cheeseburger. You're not going to want anything healthy when you've allowed yourself to get too hungry, or you've had such a calorie deficit and your body's just finally like, can't take it anymore, can't take it anymore. Yep, that's the key. Breakfast, the right thing in the morning. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So some people are saying that they don't snack more, but they tend to eat more at lunch. And so again, that is another side effect. You'll eat more calories, making up for the fact that maybe you may have skipped breakfast, or you didn't have a full breakfast, or breakfast that wasn't adequate enough. So in some way, the calories get made up. Okay. And then when I call this the classic crash and burn around that 3, 4 o'clock time frame, especially when you have leading up to that time, you haven't eaten enough for your body to really feel satisfied. And so you kind of crash and you burn, and you want something fattening, you want something salty, you want something sweet, you want something crunchy. You're not looking for a salad. Okay, you want something else. So that's really what it boils down to. And so type yes, if you have experienced or still experience that crash and burn effect. Okay, so if you know what I'm talking about, just kind of think about later in the afternoon. You may either feel exhausted, you may start to feel like you want to nap, you may start craving. For different people is different things, but if you're feeling that consistently, then type yes. And it's a pattern there. It's a pattern there. And it doesn't stop there. The domino effects continue. So you feel hungry, and then you get off work, and then usually there's nothing cooked at home. There's nothing prepared at home. So you don't make it home. You do what? You go to the drive-through, or you order takeout. And so that's how the domino effect just continues and continues and continues. And 9 times out of 10, you're just too exhausted. This is one benefit of this challenge, where you're kind of getting a snippet of what it's like to plan things in advance, prep things in advance. You can make it as easy as possible, but you have stuff done to where every night you're not having to prepare stuff and things. And it's a lot easier to pop something in the microwave than to have to prepare it completely. All right. And so question. Do you hit the drive-through or order out when you are starving? So what is your choice? Do you order out, or type drive-through if you go to the drive-through, or takeout if you do the takeout? And so usually, and like I said, there's no food cooked at home, or no cooking that's going to happen, or you're just tired. So it's good to have things prepared, or things that are very, very easy to prevent you from being so vulnerable to eating out. And like I said, the vicious cycles continues day after day after day. And a lot of times it stems from simply just either not eating breakfast altogether, or you don't eat enough. And so that's the key. Breakfast eaters tend to have a higher risk of chronic diseases, including diabetes, heart disease, and or it not being enough. Okay, because remember, coffee doesn't count. You can have coffee with your food, but it doesn't replace your food. So that's what's key. All right. And so before I go into the final point of the day, I want to share with you about that digging deeper opportunity that I spoke about. And so some of you may get everything you need out of this 3-day challenge and you're good to go. You need it's that boost that you need to get back going again. But then there are some of you that are going to realize, hey, I need a little bit more help. I would benefit from some personalized help. And so for that reason, because breaking habits are difficult, I always say weight loss is not about losing weight. There's so many other factors involved with losing weight and keeping it off long term and making it a lifestyle to where you don't feel like you're on a diet. And so although, the fad diets, they provide a quick fix, but they often lead to unhealthy results. You're lacking nutrients, you're lacking calories, and then you end up what? Returning back to your old habits because you're like, I can't take it anymore. And so in post, if you've been there, done that, okay? Many of us have been there, done that. And let me look just to make sure. Yep, okay, I see drive-through or takeout. And then it's Oshaman saying it's bad. She's like, I do either one. Hey, you're not the only one. You are not the only one, so do not feel bad. So post been there, done that. If you've done the diets, many of us have tried every diet under the sun. We do what it says, we lose the weight, and then it's over, and we revert back because we don't know what else to do at that point. And weight loss really is not a one size fit all. So to have success, it's important to have a plan that works for you, for your lifestyle, for your routine. And we are able to incorporate all that into your lifestyle versus you trying to change your lifestyle completely too soon, too fast. So it doesn't work. And so it's long term and it's not all or nothing. So always remember that it's a process. We slip, we get back on, we move forward. And so basically it's all about working together to get you back on track, but to build healthier relationships. So build healthier eating habits so that you know what to do when you slip. You know how to get back on. So that's really what's key, okay? Because you want to decrease your reliance on diets that leave you hungry and dissatisfied and dependent on buying their food. See, I believe we're going to eat real food, your food, and you don't want to have to commit to extreme restrictions because food is for fun and food is for enjoyment. So we want to make sure that you're having the best of both worlds. So definitely, I have a link here, and you know what? I need to put this in the chat. Let me put this in the chat so that you can click on it as well, because I know you guys cannot click in. Oh, thank you for being so transparent. I appreciate that. But what happens in these sessions? So this is what this is. It's a 60-minute, no cost. It's a phone call. We're going to talk one-on-one. I'm going to be able to hear from you and hear your struggles, hear your challenges, and we're able to work through that together one-on-one. And I am looking for 12 people who are committed to really moving forward and really doing something different, not waiting 3 years like I did. And what we'll do is we'll simply take a snapshot of where you are and what specific nutrition path you need to go on. Like, what do you need to do? What do we need to do to move you forward? And then we'll uncover some hidden challenges, help you to understand why you've been stuck, why you've been plateauing, whether that's misinformation, not knowing what you don't know. That was me. I didn't know what I didn't know. So that's why I wasn't able to lose the weight. Unnecessary restrictions. Maybe you have this list of foods that you've learned over the years that we need to add back so your body can have those nutrients. So we will uncover all that stuff. And the goal is for you to leave there with a plan, with an understanding, with next steps on really what to do versus what's next. So you will actually have something that you can implement. And so definitely check out this link. It will give more information on what these sessions is, but it's simply a one-on-one phone call when you or I are just taking things at a deeper level and being more specific to you and what you need. All right. And so let's get down to what is breakfast. So how do we eat breakfast? A lot of times people don't understand what the formula is for breakfast or what we should look for when we're eating breakfast. And so we must have carbs. We must pair it with some protein and some healthy fat. So these are our macros. We want to have enough food to sustain us and for us to feel satisfied. Otherwise, it will kick off a craving later. And so the carbs is what's giving your body the energy to get started. It's your brain's preferred fuel. So you can take on the day, so you can focus, so you can concentrate. So think about it when you first started doing low carb dieting, how you felt fidgety, how you felt tired, how you felt like you had a headache. A lot of people have different symptoms, but it was all kind of related to that. And your body adjusted. That's why it doesn't happen anymore, but that doesn't mean that's what your body likes. And so we want to give our brain the fuel that it needs so that you can focus and be 100% on your job, at home, and everything else. The protein gives you your staying power, okay? It helps you to feel full until your next meal. So we want a meal to last us 3-4 hours. We shouldn't be eating every 2 hours starving and when we said we had a meal. So that means that meal wasn't large enough. And then healthy fats will also aid in staying power, and it helps us to absorb some vitamins and minerals. So we need them all. They all play a different role. They don't work very well by themselves, but they all work great together, if that makes sense. And so all these are called our macros, and many people know our macros. We want to have the right combination, the right mix of protein, carbs, and fats for our body, and simple combos. So let's talk about some things that you can pair together. So you got like whole grain cereal, whether it's hot or cold, bread, potatoes. Those are some of your carbs. But think of a skillet. That's what you can have at breakfast. You have your low-fat milk. You have your low-fat yogurt with and then you have your eggs. You have cottage cheese. Those are good protein sources. And then you have fresh fruit. You have, again, that's a carb, along with low-fat milk and their dairy, but they're also carbs. So they serve as carbs and protein. So dairy is a very powerhouse food group that many people cut out. Okay, so it helps with our metabolism as well. So it's definitely nothing we want to cut out. And then you have your nuts, you have your seeds, you have things like avocado, you have margarine, you have olive oil. These are heart healthy fats. So we want to incorporate those as well. And then you also have legumes, so like our beans and things like that for carbs, for even more protein. They're healthy carbs, but even more protein. So there's ways to utilize all of this. You're going to see a lot of that in this plan, but we're doing smoothies for this particular challenge. But you will notice that there's a lot of different things in these smoothies that most people wouldn't even think to put in their smoothies. Like today, we had oatmeal. So we had our starch, we had our dairy, we had our healthy fats, the almond butter. We had so we see that we're incorporating all of these different powerhouse foods in one smoothie. Okay, so think about that. And so hopefully this will shed a little bit of light on why coffee with fruit or without fruit alone is not really fueling our body. I call it a placebo. It gives us that false energy. We go up and we go down, but it doesn't sustain us. But yes, you may have your coffee, but I want you to have your coffee with an adequate, what we call an adequate, well-balanced meal. All right, so let me see here. Let me look for some comments, make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, so definitely replay that and incorporate that. So hopefully you all will see by end of this challenge how important having that breakfast is. And remember, within 2 hours, so I spoke about that in our kickoff video, within 2 hours of rising is when you should have breakfast to get things going, to get your day going, all right? And so to sum it all up, real short and sweet, the one thing that you can do to boost your metabolism is to have an adequate and well-balanced breakfast every day, okay? Making sure we are using our macros, okay? Not just protein, okay? We need all of the macros in place, okay? And so for this challenge, I purposefully chose smoothies each day, primarily to show how you can turn a smoothie into an adequate meal, because a lot of times people do green smoothies or they'll do protein smoothies, but they're not really full meals. So this is what the difference is. So let me know if your smoothie lasted you 3 to 4 hours, because ideally they should before you start to feel like starving. You shouldn't feel starving, but before you start to feel hungry, they should last you about 3 to 4 hours. So let me know. Let me know. And I would love to hear your comments on that. So let me know how you liked it, rate it, share with me. We got 2 more. So at the end, I'm going to definitely ask which one is your best. So let me know how you like this one. And then, and post. And then, like I said, let me know how long it lasted. And just to tell you how this smoothie provided some of the powerhouse foods, you had your carbs, which came from your fruit, which was the banana and the apples. Our healthy fats came from the nut butter. Our carbs came from the protein powder, as well as the dairy, your low fat, either cow's milk or soy milk. So almond milk doesn't have the protein. It doesn't have the carbs. So that's why that's not a powerhouse. And then you had your whole grains from the oats and again, the protein from the protein powder. So you see, we covered the whole gamut. All right. And so if you have any questions, I didn't see anything posted yet. So if I'm looking for any particular questions, if anybody has on the challenge. So we had a couple of people. All right. So the smoothie was great. It was filling. That's what it's all about. So that's what I call a smoothie. Okay. So that's what, and we do have some, we don't have them in this challenge, but there are powerhouse smoothies that does incorporate vegetables too. But we want to make sure it has more than just veggies and fruit in it. So we want to make sure it has a little bit more staying power for you. And then many of you should have received a pre-assessment form. So if you filled it out, thank you, thank you, thank you. And but look out in your email for a pre-assessment challenge, because that's going to help me to guide this and lead this challenge in a way that is meaningful for each one of you. Once I see some commonalities as far as maybe challenges and struggles and goals, then I can make sure that I incorporate that. So I'm going to start looking at those tonight, and then we'll kind of hear me speaking some things, and I'm probably going to speak to you personally. And that's the whole point. I want this to be personal, but I also want this to serve as something fun. And so let's look at the guidebook. So if you made your toasted trail mix, this is one of my favorite snacks. And so this is going to give you a touch of some heart healthy fats, as well as some fruit, a little sweetness there going on. So that's going to be a snack that's really, really fun. And it's actually for 4 days. So you will actually, a lot of these servings makes 4. So you'll have stuff for the rest of the week after the challenge. So that's another positive thing. And then tonight we have a peanut Thai zucchini noodles. And so this is also a yummy one. So, and also let me know about lunch, how you enjoyed your very simple tuna, right? It's very simple. And for some people, they probably never put apples in their tuna fish before. So something different. So hopefully you all are trying different flavors and seeing that there's more than one way to do it. So share your comments on that as well. But the peanut Thai noodles. So if you don't have a spiralizer, I recommend getting one. They're very inexpensive, and you can get it from Walmart and things of that nature if you don't already have one. But it's fun, and it makes it fun to make, and it's very easy to use. And then you can actually warm this up, or you can eat it cold. So it's your preference or how you want to prepare it, and you will have it again tomorrow for lunch. So once you make it, it doesn't take a lot of time. Then you have leftovers for tomorrow. And then tomorrow's smoothie is a berry avocado. And so, like I had mentioned in the pre-kickoff video, I recommend if you like a creamier milkshake consistency, then you want to freeze your avocado and freeze some of your fruits. The berries are already frozen, but you can also freeze your avocado as well. Okay. And this is another powerhouse smoothie, as well as your zucchini. So here's one that has vegetables in it. And so you can freeze your zucchini, your cauliflower, and then your fruit. Okay. So you're going to get your veggies, you're going to get your carbs from your fruit, you're going to get your healthy fats from your avocado and your chia seeds, and you're going to get some protein from the dairy, again, your low fat or 1% dairy, as well as a protein powder. Okay. And so if you need any substitutions that maybe not listed in the recipe, let me know, because I want you to enjoy it. It's always more than one way to make a smoothie. And so I will look for some comments. I'm getting ready to sign off. All right. Yes, Raina. Good. Yes, I bought one too, and it's so fast. It was like, I think mine was like $17. So it was fun. So I'm glad you bought it, and you're definitely going to enjoy the meal for dinner today. So any questions? Look for some more postings as far as throughout the challenge, asking you how meals are going, how things are going. So don't hesitate. Don't feel free to post on these threads. Post photos. I forgot to post photos of my smoothie this morning. Post photos of your meals so we all can see them, show off your culinary skills. So definitely don't hesitate. I want this this is a platform for you all. So take full advantage of it, all right? So this concludes what I have. And like I said, continue to post. If you have any comments that come up, I will look at this and make comments and reply. And so tomorrow, we're going to talk about your way of clean eating. And so we're going to talk about what clean eating is, what it is not, and how it can help you to catapult your metabolism and your energy. Okay. And so training will also will focus on clearing up that confusion. There's a lot of confusion about what clean eating is and how it relates to dieting and deprivation and restricting carbs and giving up your favorite foods. A lot of times that's how people equate clean eating, but that's far from what it is. Okay. So I look forward to sharing all that with you. So again, go out and check out actionchoices.com, back on track, and grab your spots. And I look forward to hearing and speaking with you individually. All right. So have a great rest of your day. And I hope you found this helpful, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Be blessed.